Dead and Hip Hop album review, Blu Exile, Miles. Before we get into the review, look, man, look, we got some shit. We got some merch. We've been getting our shit together during these COVID times. This is a sticker. So if you want to, tag up your whole computer, your back of the bumper on your vehicle, or wherever the hell you want to put a sticker, go click in the link in the description below and go support your boys. Also, we don't have it right now. I ain't got the sample, but basically you put this thing right here on the side of your face. We're going to have Dead and Hip Hop masks. So they're coming out too. So you want to support your boys. I know you guys already do just by liking, commenting, subscribing to this video. You can do that additionally by either buying a sticker or getting your Dead and Hip Hop mask. So back to the review. Blu Exile, Miles. What was the last joint that I can't remember just off the top of my head? The last Blu Exile one that we did with the red cover, California something.
I don't think we did that one.
We didn't do that.
Oh, we didn't do that one?
Mm-mm. Red Hot Los Angeles.
Yeah.
That was just in my top.
That was in my top as well. Or did I mention it? Was it an honorable mention? I don't remember. No. But either way. Damn. So is this the first Blu Exile project we reviewed?
Yes, the first Blu Exile project. Yes.
Wow.
I mean, they've only had 3.
Yeah, it's not a while.
They've only had 3.
Yeah.
Why do I feel like
because we did a Blu
we
project,
did Blu albums.
Exile project.
We did New York and we did Good to Be Home.
Okay, well shit. I guess I'm fucking up. It is what it is. However, we all know that Blu and Exile are dope. I guess this is the first time both of them as a collective is in the Dead and Hip Hop chamber. If you've ever listened to Blu and Exile, this is kind of what you expect. You know what I'm saying? However, this is a little bit more mellow and chill than the last joint. That's the reason, Myke, why I asked you for the name of that one, the California whatever one, because that one was really dope for me.
Hell yeah.
Super dope. And this is it's a little different. It's on the same level of dope, but way more chill. And obviously we could tell, well, not obviously, but you could tell by the name Miles. And he also has a lot of things alluding to Blu on here as well, which was really dope. You know what I'm saying? How he even mentioned like how Jay-Z named his kid Blu and just a lot of different things. And okay, so let me get the bad thing out the way. Hour 35. God damn, bro.
That's ridiculous.
Shit.
Yeah.
Like I had to take this shit like in 2 parts on multiple days just to like get
There's
through
some double albums that's not even this long.
You know what I'm saying? So that was the hardest part for me, was just like sitting through this and listening and be like, well, damn, was this? Like I'm just still kind of lost, like what fucking 20 tracks. And then there's some of these joints that's like, there's one song I know is like 8 minutes. And it's just like, dog, like.
I thought when I first saw it, I was like, are these like remixes to the songs? You know how some people do like remixes to them and like, cause Spotify be like that sometime with like these deluxe versions and stuff.
Yep.
I thought that's what it was, but I was like, no, I think this is the actual album. God damn.
Yeah. So that was hard to get through. I'm not even gonna.
You also know that Miles Davis's most or universally recognized classic album, greatest album of all time is kind of Blu, right?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Because when I saw like Blu in the titles and him kept referencing in it and using it, and then of course it being Miles.
And Miles Davis was like the first single.
Yeah.
So I feel that's where he was going.
Miles Davis and True Living was the singles that he released for him.
Yeah, Miles Davis is one of my favorite tracks on here. That shit is hella dope. I like how Blu definitely talked about. He was very introspective, talked about his daughter. He's talking about a lot of stuff that's going on in the world. He's talking about even a lot of the great people that have passed. Is that African Dream?
No.
Forgotten.
Gone but not forgotten, something like that.
Yeah, look, bro, it's too many damn tracks. So you already know
but
about
that song was dope with the way that that Exile like use some of the samples from the artist. When he did with Michael Jackson, man, I was like, God damn,
dude, man, Jesus.
This album was hella dope. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna have much like direct things to say, because this album just sounds like a whole. Like I don't remember what track is what. I just remember as a whole I really like it. But it was too much. It was just too much to digest. Too much to be like, oh, like this particular song had this. Nah, I'm gonna lump it together. This is a damn good listen, but it's too damn long of a listen.
I don't know. It had a couple skippables, a few skippables for me personally.
For real? Mm-hmm. Do you remember any of them?
I actually don't remember
Okay.
liking like African Dream like that, honestly.
I like that one.
Yeah, African Dream was dope.
From what I remember, but I'm like FIFO. It's hard to, or maybe it's the American Dream. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I
No,
don't.
I
know.
like the American Dream.
I don't know.
I'm with you. If it's American Dream, I get it.
Yeah.
I wasn't really feeling all the same, like the Miguel.
Man.
It didn't sound bad.
I know,
It
I
didn't sound
feel you.
bad, but you know.
That was a good, fun, bouncy, like optimistic yet unrealistic track. You know, so
Which one, the American Dream?
yeah,
Yeah, it is, man. Like just talking about like
because
one
it's far from the
culture.
truth.
Yes, yes. And I don't know, like I don't kind of. It's like I understand why you would come out with a track like that today, but I also don't understand why you would, because it's like you said, it's not realistic at all. Like how does that even happen? How do we become one nation? How do we have one religion? How do we just want to love each
But
other?
I think that's kind of like the point.
Yeah.
You know, is saying like this American dream is supposed to be all these things, but
It's nowhere near that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and like I said, that's why I get why you do it, but at the same time, I understand the opposite side. It's like, dog, like that's impossible.
Nah, man, I fucking love this album, and it's
Length and all.
I struggle with the length the first time I listen to it, because you're you know, it's like you're listening to it and you're trying to also kind of like analyze it as well and say, okay, what am I gonna pick apart? Like, is there an overall concept? Like, what is this thing about? Especially when you see Blu and Miles and all of those things. And you know, I don't know. I haven't listened to a lot of Blu interviews, so, but I would imagine maybe Miles Davis is one of his favorite artists, if not his favorite artist of all time. So that's extremely possible. He's definitely one of mine. Like, I named my second kid after Miles Davis, so he has his first name. So the first time I listened to it, yeah, that was a bit of a struggle, because it was like, man, I got to get through all of this. But yesterday when I put this shit on,
You was able to just kind of vibe out to
man,
it.
I think I listened to it 3 times yesterday.
And see, I haven't had a chance to do that, and I think you know you might be right, because I tried to do it here at the studio. That's how I knew this shit was fucking long, because I came in early to clean up and stuff, and I was playing it, and I was like, damn, this shit is still. As y'all was walking in, it was still going. I was like, damn, did it repeat? I was like, no, it's still going. So yeah, so I hadn't had a chance to like just kind of vibe out to it, cut grass or anything, because something that would take an hour and 30. You know what I'm saying?
I think that was the thing. Like, it sounded good in the car when I went out yesterday with the headphones on. It sounded great. Just walking around the house doing stuff. So, you know, it's almost like for me, it's an all-purpose album because it has a nice vibe to it. So you can either tune into what he's saying and rapping about, which is incredibly dope. And even if you want to take a vacation from that and you're just off doing other stuff, the beats and the production
so smooth.
kind of put you, So you could just have it on and still get enjoyment from both aspects of it. So, and just like tuning into the content, how honest he was about, I guess, his situation now, you know, with the kid, and, you know, I guess him saying that he was broke or whatever, you know, and just how hopeful it was, how honest it was, and how grim it was all at the same time. There are a lot of different emotions that are carried out through this album, and I think that Exile just did such a perfect job of giving him like the soundscape that he needed to like get these thoughts and feelings off. And his rapping is like, God damn, like one of the, like he said, I would never sell out even if I was on sale. Like, if you think about like where he is in rap, and how an artist like him, you know, when general, because he's not super mainstream, like, you know, he's not gonna sell out. So it's just like the different meanings that could have, you know, from in that one line. But man, it was just like, the more I listened to it, the more and more I fell in love with it. And the fucking soul on this album and the singing, like, these motherfuckers were singing their ass off, and it wasn't like over the top. It was like strong and forceful when it needed to be, and then it was also scaled and pulled back when it needed to be, and it was fucking goddamn great, man. And the fucking sample on all the blues, the way he sampled, that way Exile sampled that shit, that blues track, that jazz track, man, and the fucking last track of the album, the end, little posse cuts, like that's something they used to do back in the day too. And all the motherfuckers are rapping their ass off on there as well. But my shit was Roots of Goddamn Blue.
How's it going?
That motherfucking shit right there, that shit, man. That shit is fucking great, man.
It's the one that's 9 minutes long.
Yeah, man. I loved it. Which, like around the time that Miles was putting out, and I'm not saying he did this intentionally, but jazz tracks are typically long like that. But
especially on like a little 4 or 5 track.
Yeah.
Like 11 minutes long and shit. Yeah.
That beat that he had, and just the descriptions of the things that he were talking about, all the way back from the very beginning and all the way to like where we are now. It was just I can put that shit on repeat, man. It's a fucking great track. The feeling was fucking dope, and even the guy coming on at the end, yeah, man, I love this fucking shit.
That kind of got a little repetitive for me.
The third or fourth time, yeah. So the first time I listened to it, I was like, Then the second and the third time, I was like, okay, this is kind of cool.
Yeah,
and
I
then,
always go to the next track.
Then around the fourth time, I'm like, okay, I could probably go on, but
I was like, all right.
But that's only like if it wasn't an hour and 35 minutes long, I would be a little bit more okay with letting it ride. But yeah, if I wanted to kind of get through it quicker. And get like 3 or 4 minutes back, then I could definitely skip it. But I still liked it though. This is a fucking great album, man.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know.
Yeah, I love this album. I'm like Ken. I fucking love this shit. This shit it gives me like a and I still play this album to this day. It gives me like a Pete Rock CO smooth feel. Like it's as far as just the soulfulness, the great introspective lyrics that Blue has always been. I love introspective Blue. Like I love when he be on this shit right here, man. Like the feeling is besides that shit. The stuff that he was talking about, man, was crazy. You know, what I mean, how the equipment got stolen and just how he was just depressed dealing with that, and like you said, you know, dealing with trying to raise his daughter and shit. Didn't have no money to provide for his daughter. Miles Davis is dope. I think that's a Miles Davis sample that Exile flipped on that shit. He did a lot of Exile did a lot of fucking jazz flipping on them samples. It's fucking amazing, man. Requiem of Blue is dope as hell. Blue as I Can Be. It's fucking amazing. It was definitely moments on here where it gave me Below the Heavens. Like I'm like, oh yeah, Blue back on this Below the Heavens shit on there. How he's being very introspective, very soulful. I agree with you, Ken, on the singers. I feel like they wasn't too overpowering, but they were just enough. Especially for the type of samples that Exile was giving them, they fit the sample well. The way they were singing over those samples was so amazing, man. And yeah, and y'all know me, I love short albums. So I mean, yeah, this album being an hour 36 minutes was definitely not my cup of tea. But you know, when the music is really dope, sometimes that can kind of help a little bit. I mean, granted, now when I was first listening to this, the first couple of times, I was like, damn, I'm only on Troubled Water, and I still got the rest of this shit to go. You know what I'm saying? But you know, to make up for that, the music is definitely, you know, dope. Dear Lord is dope. Spread Sunshine, I thought that was a dope track as well. Like a lot of this stuff, I mean, yeah, every joint was like, I'm like, damn, this shit is just so fucking soulful. And then like the fact that it's so soulful and jazzy and happy, and the stuff that he's talking about is pretty dark and heavy, man, was just like amazing. And of course, Blue, his wordplay, man, is just. That's one thing I've always loved about Blue. It's like for him to make an album like this with Exile, and you still make a dope album with Oh No, you know, last year, and fucking crazy, and you know, and it's still kind of like rapping about different stuff or whatever. It's dope, man. I'm like you, Can. Like, yeah, when I first put this shit on, I was like, every shit, True and Living, the feeling, music is everything. I like how he kind of talked about him, you know, his coming up. You know,
that was
music,
dope too.
How his dad was like a pastor, because I think that's the one that had the fucking organs and shit on it. Because you know, his dad was a pastor and shit, or reverend or something like that. He talked about that. So yeah, this shit was dope, man. Like I'm with you, Ken. Like I love this shit. The soulfulness on this album is beautiful. Everything, like I said, it gives me that Pete Rock CO smooth vibe.
Yep.
Yep. What?
Yeah, I love this album. I was really excited for this. Of course, I loved Blu and Exile's work, and I was just really curious to see how this was gonna go. When I pulled up the track list and saw 20 tracks, I was like, "Wow, that's a lot of Blu." And it'd be different if it was like the weird experimental Blu era, because I would expect the songs to be like a minute and a half long. But nah, these some full ass fucking 5-6 minute song
He had a lot to
long
say.
songs.
He had a lot
yeah,
to
he
say.
did have a lot to say. And the thing about it is, even though this is extremely long, and I do get what you're saying, Rod, that it does get a bit taxing, but that's not because the songs aren't still good. Like, all of the songs are still great songs, but it's just like, man, this is super long. But man, if you're gonna make a super long album, if all the songs are great,
It
I'm
helps.
straight.
It helps a little bit.
It helps a lot.
It helps, man.
Because it doesn't feel like a chore to listen to.
Because
It
we listen to
didn't.
long albums where we be like, God,
Yeah.
Damn,
but
this is
I can just put this on and just let it go in the background and just be doing shit. And you could just really just vibe out to it. I think the more jazzy element to the album, it really, really, really worked.
And to that point, like, that's what you could do with jazz music. 'Cause
Exactly.
I do that
You
with
just put 'em
jazz
on.
music. I just put it on and let it play.
Yeah, like True and Living had that kind of bounce to it a little bit. Miles Davis I'd already heard. I do love The Feeling, but Music Is My Everything. That was the one where I really did stop too, and I was like, wow, this is really deep. Like, I think it's his stepdad that was the religious
okay,
one.
I'm sorry, I said dad.
because his dad was like playing hip hop, and then he said some shit about how you gonna be surprised when I rap later on or whatever. Then when his mom met the preacher and they got together, and the preacher was like trying to tell him about secular, and he's just like, man, and it's a story that's not far-fetched. It's fairly common in the black community, but it's just interesting hearing Blu throw it on a song.
Yeah.
Blue As I Can Be was incredible.
Yeah, that was his going in song.
Oh yeah, that was the one.
That was the one where he like,
Yo.
oh, I'm gonna show y'all motherfuckers.
He was rapping on that one.
He was rapping.
You know, same shoes. Same shoes I work in, I church in. I like that line a lot. But the one that really got me was You Ain't Never Been Blue. I love that one.
That's so
where he's really talking to people about like, yo, like you may talk about being depressed and down, but nah, man, you ain't never really been there. Like, you haven't been to the point where you have to steal to get food.
Right.
Or
That's
you
Blu
can't
at
pay
his
your
best,
rent.
man.
Like,
That's Blu at his best
He
to me.
really was doing his thing. I mean, I feel like I could probably talk about all the songs on here, but I won't. But yeah, Troubled Water. I'll talk about that one real quick too, because that's where he fucking spazzed. That's the one where he says some shit about I'm eating apples, I'm back with fucking with Eden again. Or no, yeah, I'm eating apples, I'm back with fucking with Eve again. Like, he really was saying like a lot of really interesting shit. And being the only church man in here, there was a lot of religious references that I thought was interesting. Cause I don't know that I remember Blu doing that much.
Yeah, I don't remember either.
But on this one, he did that quite a bit.
Yeah.
Did you pick that up?
I haven't. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, because you have
I've
read the lyrics. I got you.
Yeah. And then he didn't do that on Below the Heavens?
Not really.
Because it's
Not like
called
that.
Below the Heavens.
Not
so I would think that he would.
like to this extent.
This one, like, I forget exactly what song it was, but there was one song where he was really going in with like the religious references to different people from the Bible, and I was like, that's interesting. And I never really remember Blu doing that before, but it
Yeah.
was dope.
It was.
It was really dope.
So that song, Myke, that you was talking about, where he was making all of those references, and y'all already know I'm horrible with names and all of this stuff, but the line he had about being like just another Ramses,
Oh yeah.
because in that song he's talking like about his legacy, like Blu is really on this project talking like a lot about like past Blu, current Blu, and what Blu wants to leave.
Yeah.
So like that song was very like it caught my ear, and I'm like, yo, like this, like he's on some other shit, like because
really
I
is.
haven't heard him rap like this in terms of this content, like because obviously he's a conscious. I'll put him in the conscious lane, but how he's rapping on this is kind of like, man, how do I explain it? It's almost like he's floating on a whole nother level. Like he has his third eye open. You know what I'm saying on this, and it was really.
Yo,
dope.
he's in the zone.
Yeah, he's 100% in the zone.
Clearly in the zone on this
Yep.
one.
Yep.
You know, Blu definitely sounds like an invigorated Blu, and I feel like he's been sounding like that for the last couple of projects. He's just been on that shit. But this one really came together, man.
Yeah.
For being a long album, this really didn't feel that long.
And I think Exile, given the length of it, did a really, really good job of the different beats that either were picked by Blu or that he gave him. Like the variety and the beats and the sound, you don't really get lulled into sleep at really almost any part of the album that I can remember. Like it really flows and is sequenced really, really well. The only one that kind of threw me off is where I'm somewhat with Rod. I do feel like in terms of a song, I'm okay with it, but African Dream, because it was such a departure.
So maybe it is that one.
From Roots, what's the name?
Roots of Blue.
Roots of Blue. Yeah, because that song has that little like, is it reggae or whatever?
Yeah,
but it has a little. I mean, you know.
Okay, so I am thinking African Dream. I thought it might have been American Dream, but I think it is African Dream.
African Dream is it came right after Roots of Blue, and that beat and what he was rapping about was so fucking good. So then you come back with, you followed it up with that. It kind of threw me for a little bit of loop, but it got back on track though.
Yeah.
Not an overall bad song. I think just the placement of it threw me off a little bit, but. This album, man, is I think it's impeccable.
No, yeah,
man.
still dope as fuck.
All right, you going first, Ken? Oh, you just figured it
Hell
out.
no, I'm just trying
Yeah,
to.
it's gonna be tough.
Figure 'em out. For me, let me get Miles Davis. Give me Blue as I Can Be. Give me Miles Away. That was really dope. Give me Troubled Waters. Give me To the Fall But Not Forgotten. And I'll stop there.
I got Music Is Everything, Blue as I Can Be, You Ain't Never Been Blue, The End, and True and Living.
All right, my favorite tracks are The End, All the Blues, The American Dream, Music Is My Everything, and of course, my favorite track on the whole album is Roots of Blue.
Favorite tracks: True and Living, Miles Davis, Music Is My Everything, You Ain't Never Been Blue, and Troubled Water.
Blu and Exile, if you're watching, amazing project. But I'm not gonna front. Like I said at the beginning of the video, hour and 35 was strenuous for me. But when you put it on in the background, like it's cool. But just kind of having to sit there and listen to it, to analyze, it was a lot. But again, amazing project. Looking forward to everything that y'all do, because I do fuck with y'all. I definitely fuck with Blu. It's just, man, this shit is almost as long as a movie. You know what I'm saying? It was just, that was hard. That was just hard. It was really hard to get over, and it just resonates with me. Like, it's just like, damn, even when I think about it, it makes me feel the same type of way. Hour 35, god damn. But a good project. Like I said, when I kind of chimed in when Myke was talking, where you are right now, it's different. You know what I'm saying? Where and how what you're rapping about is definitely different. And I appreciate that. I appreciate artists that, I always say, are introspective, can put you in the place, make you feel what they're feeling, and you do that to an extreme level. So I definitely enjoyed the album. It's just too damn long, bro.
Blu and Exile, if you're watching, fantastic project. I loved it from beginning to end. I know we talked about the length, but for me as a person that listens to jazz albums, and this helped me get through it, jazz albums are long as shit too. So I just kind of went to that mindset, and it was a lot easier to do with the impeccable production by Exile and the variety of beats that were on here, and then Blu's rapping on top of that was fucking stellar and captivating, and it made for a interesting and pleasant listen. Blu, you definitely feel energized, and you have a lot of passion and things you wanted to say, a lot of different ideas and stuff about the world and where we are now that you were able to kind of get out in this way. And it was welcome to hear. Blu and Exile, you guys make a perfect team, man, when it comes to getting together and putting out work. And I'm thankful for that. And I'm extremely thankful for this project that you guys did. This is an incredible album. So, congrats.
Yes, Blu Exile, if you're watching, thank you. Thank you for putting together this great body of work. I think, it's not mentioned. People always talk about, producer MC duels and stuff. I think you guys it's not brought up enough as being one of the guys that can make the most, magical albums together as a producer MC. Exile, man, you on that MP, man. You a fucking beast on that MPC, man. Jesus Christ, the way you chop up these fucking samples on this album is fucking amazing as always. I've always been a fan of your work. Even seeing you chop up MPC live, it's amazing. And Blu, as always, man, you always come with it with the lyrics, come with it with the flow, the schemes, the wordplay, everything, man. You being so, I love introspective Blu. I love when this is your best when you introspective. So I love that shit. But yeah, this album, amazing, front to back.
Blu Exile, great album. I think I don't know if this is the end to the trilogy or if you're gonna do more after this, but this is a great addition to y'all's discography, man. I think these beats, Exile, you absolutely killed these beats, giving it this overall jazzy theme, but still keeping it diverse enough to where it doesn't get samey. Blu, man, it sounds like you're really in a zone when you were recording this project, man. Your raps are top notch. Your flow game is really like crazy for you to be this late in your career and you're still doing new things, man. But yeah, this is easily one of the best things I've heard this year, man. Easily one of the best things I've heard this year. So I'm really excited to see what you do next. Blu, you don't seem like you ever stop working. It's just incredible how you're dropping projects constantly. But I'd be cool if you took a break off of making albums for a minute so I can because I'm still digesting this one. But yeah, great project. And I look forward to seeing what y'all do next.